Thank you, Mr. Barnes. And first, thank you to you and your team and for the updates. It's been a tremendous effort. It's quite a mountain to try to address 10,000 accounts at the same time. So I really appreciate the work that you put into it. You mentioned the 3,500 people who've applied for care. So we're in communication with them. They're not scheduled for disconnect while they go through that process?
James, let me answer this just to be clear. That's correct, sir. So all of the accounts, we kept a separate list at the time of the commission discussion about 60 days ago, so we could very specifically track where they are. And James's staff has noted each and every one of those accounts, so we can track it. Separately, we've now identified some that have applied for CARES. We can track it and take special care and kind of almost hold that to the side, if you will, while we continue to communicate. That's what James is alluding to. And frankly, we have started to get some pushback on the level of communication and the intensity of the communication, but we're going to continue to do that and keep them separately noted as we resume a more normal process for those that have become past due within the last 60 days since the commission discussion.
Okay. And if my math is correct, I think you said there were a little over 5,000 that have either made payments or got into a plan, and then there's 3,500 people who are in the CARES program, and there may be 1,000 accounts outside of that, or are they just, we haven't been able to get a response at all? Is that?
James, you want to take a stab at that? Yeah, the reconciliation is not perfect at this point because of the overlap, and these aren't the only sources of help. We have the Capital Area Action Agency, Elder Care. There's a variety of sources of help. So the reconciliation of exactly what bucket they're in, or are they in multiple times the same bucket? We're still working through that. So we realize the timing of where we are, and that there's still work to be done.
Okay. And
I would add to that, City Manager, that you're right. The reconciliation is a very tricky one because we build every day and customers become delinquent every day. So the point in time that we had a discussion with the delinquency was that initial 9,000, but that mark moves every hour based on us getting payments and billing every day. But I am very confident that everybody is getting notified and that we have a tremendous amount of outreach effort to the point that we've had about 3,000 calls today. I will also say that our system doesn't allow for you to wait beyond 5 minutes because it will keep your place in line and then call you back if you so choose. So we don't have 4 and 5 hour waiting periods to get in with us.
okay. Well, another question in the agenda, or in the update, it mentioned Capital Area Action had funding, I think, till September 2021. Do we know how much capacity they have and either dollars or numbers of accounts that they'd be able to deliver upon if they were connected?
No, sir, we do not. We just been informed that they still have funding to help, along with some of the other social agencies in the community. And that's what we are connecting those citizens to, that are still distressed and looking for options, is connecting them with the appropriate agencies, if it's Elder Care or Capital Area Foundation. Since our last commission meeting and update, and all of you mentioning Project Share and some of you making personal contributions, we have seen a 10-fold increase in Project Share contribution, and it's up 50% from that announcement at the meeting.
That's awesome. Great. And just finally, I guess my concern is, it was mentioned about people who, even through our outreach process, still didn't know, and now the CARES program is closed. The people who may have fallen through the cracks, and where does that land as we move forward? We didn't have a budget workshop this month, but I just don't want to be in a position where when disconnects start, it's for people who we haven't contacted or haven't responded back, and then there's not an avenue that actually has capacity to deliver upon. So I don't know if we've given any thought to that city of how we finish this off. I think we've made tremendous progress, but when disconnects start, are we going to ensure that there's somewhere for people to go if they don't currently have, money at all to pay?
James, I haven't got an answer, but you can probably provide a better one.
I can say that our folks understand that any of us are one step away from being in that situation. That's why we work very close with our community partners. That's why we work very closely with payment plans. And that's why we are here 7 days a week from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. at night. And even including our field personnel who work around the clock to ensuring that when payments are received or arrangements are made, they're back out there to reconnect those customers that have been suspended with service. So I'm very comfortable that we can reach some closure with 99.9% of the folks. It's just about the engagement of dialogue and connecting them with the services where they can go best.
Yeah, thank you, and thank you, Mr. Barnes, and thanks again. Those are all the questions I have.
A question on point, Commissioner
On
Williams-Cox.
point, I just wanted to mention that Mr. Barnes and his staff, I believe they're doing a fantastic job. I've received an email from someone. It came in at 10:52 this morning. I didn't see it because I was busy doing something else, and I got it over to them around 12. And by 1:51, the person was letting me know that her issue had been resolved. So thank you, Mr. Barnes. And also, myself, sometimes I forget to pay my utilities on time, and I get a little text message to let me know that it's time, or email or whatever, and then I'm embarrassed, so then I go and do something to make sure that I pay my utilities. So so I'm just saying that the things that are in place seem to be working. And thank you to Mr. Barnes and you and your staff, because I've sent some other special situations to you as they come to me. And I'm very confident that every time you all have been able to work it out. So thank you for your assistance. One of the things that I heard Ms. Shelby Green mention was that there is some folks with a huge utility bill. And I would think that you would know if an individual has that kind of bill, that there has been some outreach or there's been something. And I will hope that anyone who has that kind of bill has spoken with you or talked with you to try to make some type of payment arrangement to get that down. Are you aware of anyone with that kind of issue?
Yes, yes, Commissioner, I am. And in many cases, those have been the one that have applied to the county, because under the Leon County CARES program, they will pay up to 12 months in the rear and up to 3 months moving forward into future payments. And so those are the avenues that we wanted to ensure that the county has reached. But if there's a person out there now that has that type of delinquency, I will ask them, please, 891-498, I'm sorry, 891-4968. Give us a call.